about finding Wi-Fi. Pretty sure this video is going to successfully upload right now. Finally. I can't believe it's the 18th of the month and I'm finally getting a video out. I didn't expect this journey to be so chaotic. What's new? You know? What's new? I always think that my life's going to be a little bit different, and then it always turns out the same. Just a big shit show. So basically, you know, the last time you guys saw me, I was pretty happy. I had met someone, and we were planning on leaving together, doing this trip together. And yeah, I kind of screwed that one up. I do this a lot. I don't know if I have like commitment issues. I'm like afraid of finding my end all be all guy because I just don't want my life to be over. I think I associate like finding the right one to start a family with like getting old and dying. I don't know. So I pushed that guy away and now I'm just hurting. I mean, how many boyfriends are you gonna have in this one lifetime, Morgan? I mean, I think that's number 13. I've had 13, maybe 14 men that I've told I loved. Okay, that's a lot. Mind you, a lot of my relationships only end up being like these 3 or 4 month long flings, right? But they go like, I go 0 to 100 within like a day of meeting these people. So we're like madly in love with each other. We don't even know each other, you know? Austin and I were saying I love you to each other like 3 nights after we met. That's not love, okay? Anyways, so I've had 13 of those. Who's gonna be the lucky number 14? That's horrible. That sounds bad. You can't post it. I'm posting it. I'm posting everything from here on out. Anyway, so you're gonna see a little bit of like me happy and then me remembering that, you know, this could have been nice with Austin here. So then I start crying and then I'm happy again and I cry again. And thank God he's not here. Thank God. Because this would have destroyed him. That poor young man, this would have destroyed him. How, like, my idea of bringing all this stuff would have caused a lot of issues between us. He would not have been very happy because I've been a mess trying to figure out how to get my life organized the last 18 days. But it looks like we're finally there. You will lose your mind if you, 1, live in a car, 2, don't have a destination, 3, you're just in piles and piles of stuff. You'll lose it. Doo-doo. All the screws will come loose, and they sure have the last 18 days. But we're, I think I'm finally, yeah, we're gonna be okay. I gotta get over this. I just have so much regret in my heart. You know, I feel like I screwed up by not pushing hard enough or like not trying to fix us before I took off on this trip. I just feel like, yeah, I kind of screwed up, but I know that I didn't because like I said, this just would have been real bad. It would have been really bad had he been here. So I just need to take this time, rebuild my YouTube channel, you know, get back to work. I really desperately need a real shower. And that's what we're gonna do. I have to do this, and I think it's something I have to do on my own. And because I always thrive whenever I back myself into like a corner, you know, and give myself no choice but to succeed. Like those are the moments that I really do well in my life. And so I know that right now is the time that I just need to be alone, and time will do its thing, and eventually my heart won't hurt so much. I could just really use a hug right now. I could use a real good, solid hug. So anyways, I'm trying to edit, trying to upload, trying to get all this going and flowing. And anyways, that's what's going on, folks. Hello there. I'm clean. I finally found a shower. Praise Jesus. I was editing this video And I've done this many times in my past. Anytime I'm going through a breakup, I don't really tell like the full story because I don't like to say bad things about people that I've dated, you know, so I tend to just kind of like paint a little bit of a picture of like, oh, I pushed him away, or, you know, I said something wrong, and it's always putting all the blame on me. And I thought, well, Morgan, why don't you like tell the real story? I didn't just push Austin away. I really loved Austin. I felt like I was falling in love with him, or, you know, I had love for him. And I believed in this journey. I believed, like, meeting him, and he wanted to go to Alaska, and I wanted to go to Alaska. It felt like it was meant to be. And so I'm a person that if I have an idea, let's run. You know, let's run with it. And so that's what I did. I don't pay attention to all the bull crap that's going on in the world, you know, because I live in Morgan's world and I'm pretty happy over here. But majority of people do, and he did. So you know, he didn't feel comfortable with being like homeless. He wanted us to have a home base and then for us to travel, which is incredibly expensive. And to be honest, all the financial burden was on me. So I said, okay, you feel more comfortable having a house, let's go rent another house, and you know, we can travel and also have a house. And we were looking at these other rentals, and gosh, you know, your first and last month's rent, you're looking at around $6,000 just to get in the door, you know. And so I started to feel a lot of pressure, because not only, okay, so it was going to be me to put a first and last month's deposit on a place, it was also me saying that I would find a way to financially support us while on the road, because I'm the one that has a job that's on the internet and he was the one that is a bartender. So I was taking on a lot of responsibility in order for us to be able to be together and to do the things that we wanted to do. And over time, you know, with the house falling apart, you guys haven't even heard the whole story of that house. It's really bad, and with everything that was going on at that house and our living situation, then all of a sudden with gas prices skyrocketing, and you know, he's really into economics, and he's watching like the stock market crash, and he was saying like, this is not the time to travel. And so one day we were walking in the park, and I asked him to do the math for me. I said, let's just say we average at like $6 a gallon. I get 8 miles to the gallon in all 3 of my trucks. I have 2 Broncos in this F-250. So I said, let's just average $6. What is that a mile? And he did the math for me, and it was going to be like $1.36 or something a mile. And that was the first time that like reality really hit me in the face. Like, it really just hit me. And after that, I just started to be like really fearful like him. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is a horrible idea. We can't go to Alaska in 2 different trucks. He was going to be driving this F-250. I was going to be driving my black Bronco. Then I did the math. That's going to be over $20,000 in gas to get there and back, like from Tennessee back. And I just was naive. I wasn't doing any of the math because I don't live in that world. You know, if there's something I want to do, I just go out and do it. And then I just get over all the hurdles. I don't typically have a lot of foresight. So after we did that math in the park, all of a sudden everything just came kind of crashing down on me, and I felt like an idiot. You know, what am I doing? Here I am building out tiny home trucks when gas is like this. This is now suddenly the world's most expensive way to travel, right? Buy one of my trucks and go broke. Like, I just felt like a moron. And so I'm a person that feeds off of other people's energy, so I have to be very careful who I'm around. And it just got to a point where our living situation was just so horrible in that house. Maggots, the mold, the flooding, the toilets not flushing, the showers overflowing. I mean, and then just feeling his fears, all of his fears. And I was just, again, feeding off of it. And it was turning me into a person that was it was turning me into that fearful person. And I'm not that girl. And so I started to think in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I take him out on this trip, I'm going to be not only rebuilding my YouTube channel, we're going to be somewhat driving aimlessly into nowhere land, extraordinarily unorganized because all of the rigs are unfinished at this point. Because we went from, okay, we'll just take the truck. Okay, we'll take the truck and the Bronco. Okay, I'll take the truck and tow the Bronco. I mean, we changed our minds about what we were going to be doing in order to pull off this Alaska trip a million times. And that's why none of my rigs are finished. It was going from one project to the next to the next to we have to get out of this house. And I just started like a million projects and nothing got finished. And so, yeah, I started to think about it, and I know who I am. I know that I'm a woman that struggles with a lot of like hormonal imbalances. I always seem to make things a little bit more difficult than they should be, you know, like this, like packing up my whole house just to have props to, you know, have a funny intro to a video, you know, like this is incredibly hectic. But I'm an artist, and I think artists do that sometimes, you know, we just create really hectic environments for ourselves, but we have a vision. It's an artistic vision. And so I just started to think about it, and I know who I am. And the only way that I'm going to rebuild myself, you know, reinvent myself on YouTube and to get this channel going and to get some income flowing again, you know, is if I just go out and do it. And if he was here right now, he would be my punching bag every time I got pissed off, because I put myself into a scenario that is incredibly unorganized with all this stuff in the back of the camper that's unfinished and leaking. I would be yelling at him. I know who I am. And that's why I typically, I do better when I'm just single and on my own, because I don't have anyone to yell at. And so what I do is every time I get frustrated, it just lights a fire underneath my ass to just, okay, let's get through this. Let's get over it. And I haven't figured out how to be that person with someone else yet. And so I knew that. I knew if he was here, it was going to be extraordinarily chaotic. And with him, you know, with it all being on me, I was going to lose it. I was going to lose my marbles. And so I had to do what I had to do to get back into a scenario where it was just going to be me taking off on this trip. And I probably could have handled that a little bit better. But so essentially he had to get away from the house. He had to. It was 4th of July weekend, and he was like, I can't be in this house anymore. Just the way that the house was. The house was falling apart. And in a new relationship, when you're living in those conditions, it's not ideal. You know, he's coming home from work late at night we couldn't even cook in our own kitchen. We had no hot water, because if you turn the hot water on, the whole kitchen would flood. Like, we had our dishes in the bathtub in the master bedroom. Roaches everywhere. And like I said, maggots coming through the floors. Like, it got really bad. So he said, I'm going to go back to my hometown for just the weekend and get away from this for a little while. And I agreed. But then the morning that he was about to leave, I just lost it. And I think that was me. You know, that's the little dark side of me, that instead of just telling him to go and, you know, why don't you just pack up your things and just go ahead and head back to your hometown and stay there like you originally was going to do before you met me, I caused a fight. And I said, so you're just going to leave? You're going to leave on 4th of July weekend, and I'm just going to be here building out these rigs so that you can go on a completely paid for trip? Like, I lost it. You're just going to leave me here? And I have issues when it comes to 4th of July weekend because of what happened between my ex Brett and I on 4th of July weekend. And because he was the same kind of asshole. He was selfish. He was so selfish. And he would always do that to me. Like, he would bail on me, bail on our plans, bail on being with me, and go do something fun with his family or something, and I would just be left in the dust. So it triggered me, and I told him, you know what, why don't you just go, and why don't you just don't come back? Pack up your dog and just don't come back. And yeah, he packed up that morning at like 8 a.m. and didn't even really pack. He left like everything that he owned at the house, but he drove away. He drove back to his hometown, 6 hours away from Memphis, and didn't come back. And then I was left to completely pack up the entire house, deal with all of his shit, his couch, his mattress, his clothes, his stuff. But at the same time, I'm the one that told him to do it. So that's the real story. That's what went down. And then I hopped on the road without him. And it hasn't been pleasant because obviously I didn't want things in that way, and I wish that he was here, but I'm also just like mad at him. I'm like mad at him, and I know he's mad at me, and so that's the story. So yes, I think that I do push people away. But I do it because it's like me going into survival mode, you know? Same with Dave in South Dakota. I really liked him, you know. I know you guys did too. He was a sweet guy, and his family was really incredible, and I didn't even tell the full story. Same with Jared. I mean, yeah, I know how many boyfriends have you had now, Morgan? Yeah, I know some person left a comment like, which one is this? I lost track. Yeah, there's a lot, okay? But I never tell the full story, you know? And with Dave in South Dakota, it looked like such a beautiful situation. He had this big, beautiful house, and I told him to go watch his mom die. Like, there was so much more to that story. There was so much more. I'm not gonna get into it now, but I think I need to stop painting this picture that it's me just pushing these people away, because there's actually like, it's putting me down, and I need to stop putting myself down, because if any of you knew the full story behind Jared, Dave, and now Austin, you likely would be like, you made the right move, Mo. So, doesn't mean they're bad people. They're great guys, but I'm a lot. I'm not for the faint of heart, you know? I'm a lot. I dream really big, and I just really wholeheartly believe that anything that I want, or the person that I love wants, I could just make it happen. And so I just go out there and I do it. That's what I'm doing right now. I want to go see Aurora Borealis, you know? That's what I want. That's all that I want. I'm gonna scream so loud when we get there too. Oh, it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night. I'm gonna really unleash. So, okay. That's all I wanted to say. Just a reminder, if you guys want to join the Unstoppable Army and help support this journey, it's just $1 a month to subscribe to my Patreon, where it unlocks all of my videos, and you guys get a ton more content. They're all like around 20 minutes long, so you guys get a lot of footage. What's up? This is me shaving my armpits. Oh yeah, you like that? Hope you enjoy it. If you don't want to join the army, that's okay. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being here, and have a wonderful night. Mwah. Something touched me. I lost my shoe. Oh, there's Shrifties everywhere. I lost my other shoe. Shit. I need river shoes. We need river shoes.